That's a new fastest lap for Watson, 1:18.3. Fastest lap for Watson, 1:17.9. Pit lane speed limit is 64 kilometers per hour. The pit exit looks clear. Box in for 590 meters.
Pit box in 10.
Box in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Right here.
Box now.
All clear. Punch it. You're on a dry tyre.
Black flag. We'll need to come into the pits to serve the penalty. You've had a black flag. We'll need to come into the pits. Disengage limiter. Please, Craig. Pit exit's clear. Don't cross the white line. Cold tyres all round. Your exit looks clear. Stay behind the line. Black flag. We'll need to pit to serve this penalty. Your exit's clear. Watch the white line.
They see you cut the cord. You'll have to slow down and give up the time game.
Black flag. We'll need to come into the pits to serve it.
Pit safely. You have to drive through the pit without stopping.
You need to come in for this penalty in the next 3 laps.
You've got wheel damage. That's it, go.
Your exit's clear. Don't cross the white line. Slippy surface flags out. Right side's clear.
You're on the right.
P3. Okay, Craig, we need to watch these track limits. The guy behind has just done it, 121.8. Slippery surface flag, careful. The guy ahead's lap time is a 120.3. Track limits, this lap will be deleted.
Course, you've got to slow down and give up that time.
Yellow flag. P3. New fastest lap for Watson on 17.4.
19.197.
Okay, Craig, you've used half your fuel.
Just set the fastest lap. 17.383. You got a slow car on the left.
Slippery surface flag, be careful.
You got a slow car on the left. Go right.
The guy behind has just done a 120.1. P2.
New fastest lap for you.
Front left, 91%. Rear left, 85.
Sorry, Marcus.
The guy ahead has just done a 117.4. That's a new fastest lap for Watson, 117.0. Fastest lap for Watson, 116.7. The guy behind has just done a 119.1. The guy behind has just done a 118.6. guy in front has just done a 118.2. That's 20 minutes to go. The guy behind has just done a 118.7. The car ahead has just done a 118.1. car ahead has just done a 118.4. Okay, Craig. 15 minutes left. That's 15 minutes. The guy behind has just done a 119.1. Alright, Craig. 10 minutes to go. That's 10 minutes left. The guy behind has just done a 119.7.
You're on a dry tyre.
The guy behind has just done a 119.0. There's a car behind. Stay inside the line. Okay, Craig. 5 minutes to go. 5 minutes left. New fastest lap for Watson, 116.4. The guy behind has just done a 118.6. Pit exit's clear. Stay behind the white line. On your left, clear left.
You're on the left.
Yellow flag. B9.
Back what was
They say you cut the course. You'll have to slow down and give up the time game.
That's 2 minutes left. 2 minutes. P10.
7, good. You got a slow car on the right. You got a slow car on the right. Go left.
Right side's clear.
You're on the right.
Yellow flag. Caution. Checker flags out. 10th position. That's the end of the session. 10th position.
You're on a dry tyre.
Okay, Craig, we've got 2 laps. Let's get this done. Your front tyres are cold. The leader has just done a 118.6. You're now 1.3 seconds off the pace. Sector 1 is 0.5 off the pace. We need to find a 10th in Sector 2. Sector 3 is 0.7 off the pace.
the flag. It's over.
And that would make him the champion by 6 points. I don't think it'll be that straightforward an equation, but he's certainly got more to fall back on than Stephen Bull does. And even then, Joe, I mean, as we say good evening to you, our good mate, Trucker Joe Baldwin, former El Presidente over there on the other side of the Nullarbor. As we say good evening to you, mate, and we'll go back and have a look at some housekeeping things that we need to take care of in just a moment. Long shot for Adam Lavis if Stephen Bull keeps it straight, but unfortunately, Stephen Bull's had his fair share of incidents throughout this season. He probably, had he avoided two of those, probably would have already had one hand on the title, but that's not the case. It's going to be a very interesting 90 minutes here.
No, that's right. Like a lot of people put emphasis on the grand final being the be-all to end-all, but no, every round's important. And you've just, over the long stretch, we know what Adam's like. He's a bloody demon, right? He's consistent week in, week out, and so he's got those rounds to fall back on if he needs it. Whereas, you know, as you said, Stephen Bull, he just doesn't have that tonight. So he has to play the long game and be smart. So, and look, I mean, Steve's just got the raw pace, right? He's fast character in these sort of cars. Every time he's raced with us, he's always put on a good show. So, yeah, if he can keep it on the island, I'm sure he'll do a good job. But you just know Mav's going to be there by the end of the day.
Night 5 of week 10 of term 4, night 5 of week 40 for the year. 46 weeks ago, this journey started, and it will end technically tonight, although we're going to come back and do a little bit of overtime next Sunday. More on that in just a moment. Qualifying almost done, but before we go any further, Joe, let's go back and cover off a couple of important bits and pieces of information. Firstly, we promised these last night. At the final point standings from the Pantech Industries Porsche Cup. 39 points the margin in the end there. It really ballooned out in favour of Hayden Smith over Ben Pedersen. Those penalties really hurt Benny last night. Unfortunately, 5:34 played, 4:95, and a long gap back then to Adam Hayne. We didn't see Sam Muir last night. Hayne gets third, 4:07. 3:49 for Muir and 3:48 for Luke Page. Unlucky not to nab that fourth place in the end. 2:92 for Sam Chapman, Rodney Golan, Simon Mesmo, Adam Lavis, Alan Dawson made up the top 10. And Bondi, unfortunately, dropped a spot in the final round. He finishes 11th. See, you should have stayed out there in the final race of the season to grab those championship points, my friend. As far as the open split was concerned, we already knew that Paul Wilson had wrapped that up. But let's just remind everybody that the battle for second was on between Dale Atkins and Greg Heaney. Heaney's held on. 23 points to margin. They were 134 behind Paul Wilson in the end. Atkins only just held off Jason Wilkinson, 5 points there. And then Tristan Koch, 387, got the better of Paul Wood, 333. He vaulted up 4 spots in the end. Stephen Gallacher lost out on his top 5 spot. Have a look at how tight it was there. 3 points covering 6th and 8th. Edward Rollo, then Barry Punter and Aaron Smith. Thankfully, the rain has cleared. Hopefully, the puddles have as well. We're going to have cars on the grid here in just a moment. It is a warm-up lap, Joe, so we've got enough time to squeeze in a wheel spin for a
Good evening and welcome to
310
the
kilometre,
GSRC round
yes, an
10 of
expanded
Indy.
tear around
Tonight we have
Mount
a
Panorama
59
tomorrow
lap
night
today.
in the Mountain
We
Men
have
Grand
live
Finale
lessons
for
on the
Turn
road
4.
tonight,
Let's go.
and some reviews of politely informed
Oh, some
market
good choices
development
here,
on
Joe.
Parliament to be
Yeah, a
reviewed.
bunch of good
There
F1
was
style
2
cars
random
and
safety cars this race
AMGs and
between lap
Williams,
15 and lap
Oh,
55.
no, the Ferrari.
And some comms off
I
the
had one
communicating
last
with RCB
weekend, I
and people
think,
input
and picked
only.
that, put it on the
If you
wheel,
get
and
only
there it
warning,
is. So
mind you,
Ferrari
opponents is
488
make
challenge tomorrow night,
H2
50
Good luck
laps
and
on
have
the
fun.
mountain, 300 Ks. That's going to be a blast. Never know, it might even rain. It's the sort of car that could do with a bit of rain. I know how much
Absolutely.
everyone's been loving it. I've heard that, but no. We might keep it a dry race, I think, to bookend the season. But there you go, the 488 challenge car tomorrow night.
50 laps, the journey tomorrow night, and you will see it from 8:30 Eastern Daylight Time for those of you that are, of course, planning to show up and race in it. That's the usual start time. It'll just run a little bit later with those extra 18 laps taken into consideration. There's the grid here. Marcus Watson, Paul Rogers, front row by G. That was
T-minus
night from Marcus,
30
wasn't it?
seconds.
Oh, God. Alex Tzikis is there on the second row alongside Stephen Bull, Craig Bond, Luke Brooker, Adam Lavis and Jonathan Harris. First blood to Stephen Bull. Matt Schmidtke, Greg Heaney make up the top 10. Outside,
Your
you've
tyres
got
are
Edward
cold,
Rollo,
watch out.
Siobhan
Strength of
McCurdy,
field is
Guy Leach and Martin
2,700.
Lipsky, Tyson
Track
Broad and
temp
Connor
is
Nixon, and
21
then Eduardo
Celsius. The air
Zamora,
temp is
Martin
20.
Davis, and Brett Bradbury's going to round out this 19-car field for what is a very long lap, a very long race around here tonight. 69 laps, we're told, is the journey, or 95 minutes, whichever comes first. And there will, of course, be competition cautions thrown throughout the
rolling
course
starts.
of
Follow
the
car
evening. Let's
number
hope we don't have any
4,
near
9
as
in the
many
right
big
column.
ones as what we had last night. That's a monumental shunt to start the Porsche feature by G. That'll
Safety car
be
speed
in
is
the
72
GSRC Hall of
kilometres
Fame
per
as far
hour.
as shunts are concerned. It made Imola for the Toyota 86s look positively brilliant. Now, as I said, long shot for Adam Lavis if Stephen Bull finishes strong here. And the other reason for that is because it's extra points on the line this time round. Usually there's 60 points available for a race win. Tonight, I believe there's 90. It's enduro points. So that actually works in the favour of Stephen Bull, because Adam Lavis probably would not want to be resting on the laurels of falling or relying on a drop round in that instance, because that's on regular points. So the advantage is with Stephen Bull. He's also got the better of the qualifying so far. Never say never in this game, as we say. Stephen's run into, unfortunately, a few incidents throughout the course of this season. He'll be hoping to keep it clean tonight to secure the title. 29 points the margin coming into this grand finale.
Craig, be ready.
We are
Watch for the
set on the
lights.
platforms of the Gentleman Sim Racing Club for the last of the big races in Club Grand Final Week number 4 for 2025. The season runs tonight. Who prevails? We've got 95 minutes to work that out. I won't we go at Indianapolis. Great start down the main straight for the first
Left
time.
side.
Stephen Bull and Marcus Watson.
Still there, hold your line.
Clear
Paul
car
Rogers.
left.
The next car's the
And
leader.
Alex Tzikis. Not a lot of room. By the way,
Clear left.
everybody's showing as though they've completed one lap except Marcus Watson. That'll all correct itself very shortly. What I was, of course, there in, I think, second at the moment. Tzikis and Bond have had a good start. Particularly pleasing start for Craig Bond here. To the outside goes Bond.
Left side.
And
Clear
evident
left.
as well,
Switch
Joe,
start,
that
mate. Keep it coming.
even though the track is basked in sunshine, we are putting up with rain and the aftermath effects and impacts thereof. Those puddles, that little bit of standing water that we've seen play a prevalent part, particularly at Interlagos last night. Even though we had no actual rain falling in the races, a lot of standing water around the circuit. I think the one thing that iRacing must fix next with their Tempest weather system is the bloody drainage on these circuits.
Yeah, look, I know, I was talking to the guys. See, there was a incident there at Turn 1. We just missed it. It was in the
This is fucking great, mate. Keep it coming.
Tyson
P2.
the pit lane too, by the way.
The leader.
Yeah, Tyson Broad, yep. Yeah, the problem is once the track gets wet, it can be 40 degrees, have 40 cars on it, it just doesn't dry out. So we got caught out Mountain Men round 1 this season. One goes around there.
Trouble. Yep. Jonathan Harris showing off track at the moment, and a couple of other spins happening around at this point. We know that Marcus hasn't yet been, well, it'll actually be, the rest of the field has to be corrected here, because it's showing that we're on lap 3, we're only on lap 2. So once that order corrects itself, we'll be able to give you a little bit more of a rundown of what's going on out there. But in the meantime, and Watson was of course caught up in that early incident as well, so even though he is showing as though he's a lap down on everybody, when the order corrects, he's actually only showing 16th in the running order of 19. Sean Benici saying that it's actually fine when it dries up, but and that's the point. I'm not so worried about when the track dries up. Oh, sorry, when the rain disappears and stops or eases, Sean. What I'm saying is, have a look at the standing water still on the circuit. The session has progressed a few hours. Look at that, between qualifying and the race. In fact, we should have a look at those track and circuit weather settings if you can, please. Check out on the right hand side of the screen there, if we can.
Oh, you would do this, mate.
I would.
And there we go, like that.
There we go, 12:06 in the afternoon. So, I mean, middle of the day, it's very likely wet the circuit unless we've had a shower pass through between sessions. But yeah, it's that water is standing. Oh, trouble, Adam Lavis, a little bit of contact there that was Luke Brooker.
Brad, it's
and that's
pitting from
Vicky and Tyson Broad are on
P19. We
pit
think
lane
he'll come
too,
out a
by the
little
way.
way behind you.
Lavis, no. Match Vicky gets a 25-second penalty with a late move on Tyson Broad on lap 1. Schmicky's on pit lane. Marcus Watson has already been to pit lane. Don't get me wrong, I love that these guys are going to be tested tonight, but I'd hate to think that patchiness and lack of drainage on the circuit, and we've seen it, right? We're here for 90 minutes. Let's see how this track, evolves and disperses, and that water disperses. Doesn't say much for drainage if those puddles are still as big in 90 minutes time as they are on lap 1. So it'll be interesting, and that's the one takeaway. That's the one thing I've been noticing about the Tempest weather system in the last couple of weeks, Trucker.
Yeah, definitely. And there's been a lot of people that have had their grievances about it. Yeah, that was tricky. That was what he got the penalty for. I don't know what that one. Show us much.
Our good mate, our broadcast colleague, of course. Unfortunately, not his finest moment here.
Move up inside. Oh, he sort of turned down on him there.
Closed the door? Yeah.
Yeah.
Have a look at how broken and shattered that car was too, by the way. And with a 25-second invoice coming his way, it's going to be a long night for Matt Schmidt. Now they're driving straight through that big puddle there too, Joe. They're driving straight through that big puddle. So theoretically, if there's no more rain tonight, Marcus started in pit lane. Thank you, appreciate that for clarity. Yeah, he did. Yeah.
He didn't have to start in pit lane, but he did nonetheless.
He did. Everybody's out there on drives. 17.594 for Bondi, fastest time of the race. He's keeping Tzikis honest at the moment. If you are going to watch these, oh, trouble! Is that, yeah? Oh no, gone. Championship done for Adam Lavis in the wall on the final corner. Exactly what I was talking about with regards to those puddles, Joe. Have a look at this. I was going to say, you're pretty much driving straight through them there. Oh, just turned and snapped him. And then watch this on the... He's tried to get off the racing line. He's tried to get out of the right... Oh, no. Bang.
Did he move
And
a bit then?
absolutely, he absolutely did. But there's nothing that Tyson Broad or anyone else could have done about that. I think it was Paul McKernan, I think, was the one that clouded him big time here. Watch this. Bang. Oh. Really, the car didn't move enough that McKernan wouldn't have clouded him anyway. McKernan would have always ended up in the wars there, no matter where that car was parked. Watch them driving through the puddles. It was McKernan. Siobhan McKernan, right on board with McKernan if you can, Joe. That changes the complexion of the race. 1:17.418 for Tzidakis, now the fastest lap of the race, responding to Bond. Watch this. Adams moved there, but McKernan was never getting down far enough.
No.
Never getting down far enough to stop that.
Oh, it's just awkward.
Oh, yeah.
Brooker he got a penalty for that move on Matt on lap 3.
He did. He did. And that was to be
here.
expected. Let's have a look at this.
Oh, hang on. No, it was just back for that.
Yep. By the way, ladies and gentlemen, I did promise earlier in the day some updates from.
Oh, yeah. Outbreak himself and
Yeah. I did promise some updates from the gather this evening throughout our coverage, and you're not going to think you can believe this. Cam Green
There's an
and Steve
incident
Smith
in
are going
turn 4.
absolutely
You think it
bonkers
might
at the
be
moment.
Nixon?
And the Aussies, remembering that there's still an hour and a half of play tonight. They are 3 for 288. They are going along at 5.28 and over. The runs are coming thick and fast. Green hit a 4 and Smith hit a 6 in the last over the cast bowl. And we've only been on air a few minutes here, Joe and I, but the runs have been
There's an
flowing
incident
freely
in turn
in
10.
that
It looks
time.
like Nixon.
It is terrific to see that the Aussies are adopting a Bazball approach, and it's actually working for them. 3 wickets for 288, and the good news is we're only in the first innings, so we're actually going to get a third day's play in the test match. That's exciting. There's Adam Lavis, a 15-second penalty for the unsafe rejoining the contact with Siobhan McKernan. Yeah, that was inevitable, unfortunately, I think.
Yeah.
For Adam Lavis, even though, as I said, right, and I'm not excusing Adam's slight move there in any way, shape or form, but where that car was parked and where McKernan ended up, McKernan was colliding with Lavis wherever, you know, regardless. If Adam hadn't have moved, McKernan was still going straight into it. So, and you know, you wouldn't need to be a rocket scientist to put 2 and 2 together with that. Tzidakis, Bond, Bull, Rogers, Brooker, Heaney, Leach, then Watson. Heaney's just got by Leach into 4th. Sorry, it was 6th and 7th. There they are side by side down the main straight. Heaney down the inside. Or is that Heaney on the outside? Leach is in the big blue car, right? Heaney's there in behind. So Heaney has succumbed to that and fallen back into 7th. Marcus Watson, 8th, fastest of the race, 1:17.108. Pit stops will play a part tonight, so too competition cautions. Those puddles are going to be treacherous. You can see that the guys are trying, and it's already tripped Adam Lavis up and a couple of others. They're trying to clear those standing puddles that are directly on the racing line. So you're going to see some splashes. You're going to be forgiven for thinking you've mistaken the Indianapolis Motor Speedway for Bondi Beach. With the waves that are going to be flying up off these cars at various points.
Clear left.
You play with the cards you dealt, and that's where we're at the moment. 55 overs gone, Australia 3 for 289. Smith 61 and Green 44. So I will keep you abreast of that as we go. Marcus Watson's here giving Greg Heaney and Luke Brooker a bit of a hurry up. They've both got by Guy Leach. Riding on board with Watto. See, look at that puddle. Straight into Watto's eyes. Down the main straight, he'll set this up, and I don't think Greg Heaney's going to force the issue very much here. Down the inside, Watto.
Car right.
Straight up into 7th.
Clear right.
Done.
And just remember, people, this young man started in the pit lane after putting it on pole.
And this young man is an absolute superstar, and he's represented the country on the international stage in the sim racing caper. He is a very, very talented steerer.
He is, definitely. And look, and he's improved, matured a lot, I would say, over the course of the last 12 months. And he's really, getting that youthful exuberance into controlled aggression has really done him wonders. You know, he had a couple of incidents like last season in 25.
There's an incident in turn 14.
Yeah,
You think it might be Nixon? Yellow flag.
We sort of had a chat to him in the background and whatnot, and he's come back just strength to strength. And I don't know that I've seen him involved in a skirmish at all this season. None that stands out anyway. So, so from that point of view, he's just over the course of like 2025. I think that aggressive streak he had has really turned the corner, and he's a much better racer because of it. I wouldn't say he's fast or anything, but just he doesn't get involved in any incidents. It's really improved. It's great to see, and and he's a very, very strong member of the GSRC, and and good on him. He's I'd pat him on the back and shake his hand for that style of improvement. I think he's done a great job. So yeah, hats off to him, and Craig, if you're listening, mate, let him know he's done a great job.
Pondy is actually in the house, and he's on mute. Actually, no, he's not muted at the moment. He's just sitting there quietly going about his business. Have a look at the company he's keeping at the moment. Alex Tzikis, who's a new name of the club, and Stephen Bull, who is now in the box seat to wrap up this title with the misfortune that's fallen upon Adam Lavis, who now finds himself a lap down and needs to stay only a lap down in order to get it back and get back on the lead lap once the first competition portion is called. If he's any chance of getting back in this fight. But that was a defining moment, and it looks as though, you know, the seas are parting and opening up nicely for Stephen Bull to secure that title after a season that's really had it all. But this series has been by far and away, I think, some of the best racing we've seen on the club throughout the course of the season, particularly when they've been able to go wheel to wheel like this and make it work. And what we saw at the Red Bull Ring, what we saw Gateway, Illinois, what we saw even last week at Harbour was phenomenal. Iowa was great. Oh, absolutely. Texas was a little bit tame, but, you know.
McKiernan is pitting from P18. He should be a little bit behind when he comes out.
Because it's not just a straight over, it's for want of a better phrase, the silly D shape. It was bloody fantastic racing.
Oh.
No, I mean, that was round 2, and it still sticking out as Bondi up the...
No, that was never going to work. But now he's vulnerable to Stephen Bull, who got a far better run off that final corner. And now straight through the puddle. Watch him go. There it is. Look at the wet wheel tracks that they're dragging with them through that puddle. Back another 100 metres down the main straight there at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. You pointed out Marcus Watson's very valid as well. Bondi pulled out of it, but he broke too late. He went too deep. He pays the price. He'll get a massive slowdown invoice here. Oh, that's unlucky for Bond.
You're right.
You saw him going for it, but he left it too late to get on the anchors. Probably listening to us sing his praises and just lost concentration for a moment. So, we'll go back and talk about Marcus Watson. We'll let Bondi focus on trying to catch these two back in. Tzikis has got Bull for company now. Bond's another 1.3 seconds back, but still very much in contention. That's the only skirmish we've seen from him all stint. Been a very good run for the boy from Gun to Guy. But, your point about Marcus Watson, I think it all applies. Oh, geez, that's a near miss and a half, isn't it? I think it also applies to so many other people within the club, Joe. I mean, it has been a frantic season. It's been an enjoyable season. And right across the calendar year, all 4 terms have delivered something different. I think there's something to be said about your point about Watson. Yes, there's been a bit more of a matured approach to the racing, but it goes both ways, right? The intensity, the aggression, the mongrel has been certainly upped, right? But it's been,
right, Craig. Got the chances here. Let's make sure we can take him P3.
The club's clamped down on it and just said, guys, you know, just remember what the ethos of the club is, and that is, you know, that it is the Gentleman's Racing Club. The mongrel's still there, the aggression's still there, but it's in a lot cleaner manner than what it has been, certainly in early parts of this term, let alone earlier this year. And that doesn't just go for Watto, it goes for a lot of our members. And it's great to see they're so passionate about it. It's great to see there's so much, you know, enthusiasm about it, and they're not afraid to go wheel banging or door to door or whatever you want to call it. But at least they've been able to keep a lid on it for the most part.
Yeah, definitely. And look, it's one of those things like the club's been making moves over.
Yellow
off
flag.
goes Bond. Off goes Bond. Sorry, Joe. Off goes Bond. And he's lost out now on
your
third
right.
to Paul Rogers.
Clear right.
And now to Marcus Watson. And now we can follow Watto through. Have a look at this. Curve. Curve that'll do it every day of the week. And finally, Cast gets his man. Cameron Green's been castled. He's been bowled. It's 4 for 291, and England are back in it. There's your update.
Box in.
Live on the go.
120 metres.
Oh no.
We'll need to stop again.
Oh, the rear end gone. Indies do Porsche things too, it would seem.
They do. I think he may end up falling back on those drop round points tonight. The way he's going, he's already a lap down, and it's just not Mav's night.
No.
But he is coming off,
Which is unfortunate.
He's just come off wrapping up the
Box in. 5.
Barber Championship.
4.
well
3.
done.
2.
So
1.
yeah, yours truly managed
Box
second
now.
overall, and Neil.
Front right. 91%. Right rear. 88.
Give me a minute. I'll come back to you on that one.
Copy. I love it. Now, did I or did I not see correctly that
takes
you
it,
may
it's
or may
clear.
not have grabbed the win tonight in the skip over?
Yeah, I did. Yeah,
We've got cold tyres, so we need to get some heat into them. All right, Craig. The next car is Lipsky, C licence, and their rating is 4.1.
The chase on the final lap, and
The leader has just done a 17.0.
this season, and the sort of the roll cage on either side of the halo has been filled in, and you just can't see. And I just didn't realise how close he was. So, yeah, it was just the slightest touch.
Honey
and,
is pitting
yeah,
from
so they
position
gave him the
7.
win,
We
but
think he'll
yeah,
come out just in front.
Didn't mean to bump him, but look, it was a great year-long season. Ended up getting me second in the championship.
You're reeling Lipsky in. The gap's now 4.8
Don't worry about
seconds. He's slow into turn 12.
Yeah, right, gotcha. I was going to say, if you just heard some noise coming through from my end, it's because Facebook decides when it wants to play videos at volume and play videos on mute. But a quick button push fixes that. Hey, Stephen Ball has stayed out onto lap 15. Yes, we're on lap 15 already, 20 minutes into this race. Edward Rollo's going on for another lap, but pit lane, a hub of activity. So
Okay, Craig,
Blondie
there's a
came
car
on
exiting
13,
the pits,
so
heads
did
up.
Warren Davis, and then everybody else has just pitted on 14. So Kazikas, Rogers, Watson,
D10.
Leach, Walker, Heaney, Harris, Bradbury, Lipsky. And you forget sometimes just how bloody long a pit lane it is at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. It's a long transit around here.
The lead is pitting now.
There's an incident in turn 1. It looks like Leach. The driver in front of us is Watson, B licence, and their rating is 4.6.
He had a fairly healthy lead, so yeah, but yeah, Mav, like I say, he's got points to fall back here, which should almost keep him clear of Booker, because he's only got 1 0 each, depends on where he finishes tonight, and he's currently in 8th position. So with him in the 8th, that'll probably give Mav second overall, and Paul should lead the championship.
Oh, okay. Cast has got 2 in the over, and Stephen Smith's gone for 61.
Incident in turn
Oh,
1.
boy.
Looks like it's
Game-changing turning moments there. It's 5 for 292 in England. Like I said, a few moments ago, firmly back in it. On the pit lane comes Edward Rollo. Stephen Buller's already been in and gone before Rollo even hits his pit box. Greg Heaney's in at the end of this lap as well. Although Heaney, it's showing, has already stopped. So this is the second stop for Greg Heaney. Ah, that's why. He has a black flag. Heaney has a black flag. That is a very long, cruel penalty.
No, must be a pit lane penalty.
I'd say so.
Might have went the wrong side of the blue cone on exit, because it's actually a very, very tricky pit exit here.
the gap to Watson. Ahead is now 3.1 seconds.
So come down. This is your can't accelerate till you get to that.
Yellow flag. Line up.
saved by the bell.
207, car.
Oh, yeah, caution. First one of the night. On lap 16. There you go, 17 now. At the end of lap 16 is when the first caution is thrown for the evening. There's a heap of debris on the circuit over there at turn 4. That's an interesting one. Greg's been saved by the bell because he'll stay on the lead lap. But that was a very long transit for him. Stephen Bull couldn't have called that any better. The safety car is going to pick him up immediately. So this is great news because Matty Schmidtke will be able to get his lap back. Siobhan McKernan will be able to get her lap back.
Turn 3. You think it might be
retired, done for the night, parked up, out. So
red yellow flag. There's
Stephen Bull,
debris out there.
Zickus, Paul Rogers, Marcus Watson, Craig Bond, Guy
There's an
Leach,
incident in
Booker,
turn 5. It looks
Eduardo
like
Zamora,
Bull.
Jonathan Harris, and Martin Davis, the top 10 at the moment.
Incident in
Heaney
turn
saved
4.
by the
It looks
bell,
like
but
Brooker.
the fact that he's had to go down pit lane that extra time means that he's already effectively -3 on where he started, and he was running inside the top 10 when that caution, before that second pit lane transit took place. It's a big let up for Adam Lavis to have that safety car thrown when it is as well, because it brings him back into the mix too. However, the problem he's got is that he is out of sequence. He's off strategy to everybody else.
There's an incident
Whether he
in
stops
turn 7. It looks like it's
next time
Bull.
by, and then goes like buggery to catch the rear of the field up at and begin the second stint at the rear of the train, and on a couple of laps fresher tyres than everybody else, Joe, remains to be seen. We'll get to Bondi in a moment. He's sitting in 5th place, but yeah, that's a great start for Stephen Bull, who has now got to the lead on Alex Tzickas, and Paul Rogers rounds out the top 3. Watto already up to 4th. That's an impressive start.
Yeah, look, I think you could almost bet your house on Mav coming in. Like, he's at the back of the pack.
There's an
anyway.
incident in turn 10.
So
you think it might be Bull.
He's got nothing
There's an
to lose,
incident in
everything to
turn
gain
11.
by
You think it might be
pitting,
Bull.
whether he puts fresh tyres on or whatever, but at least top up the fuel. So, like, you'll only lose a couple of spots back there, but, you know, you'd be mad not to. And almost anybody that's outside of the top 10.
There's an incident in turn 12. It looks like it's Bull.
Where's everybody pitted on lap? I will say Mab pitted on lap 4, so he's going to have to pit anyway. And
Right, control. I gotta
Tyson
set the
Broad
front
pitted
end
on
off
lap
maybe 5
3,
laps
so
of pit.
he'll pit as well. Lipsky's already pitted. Schmicky and
Right,
Kernan were on lap 3 and 9. So
Incident
these
in
guys
turn
will have to
14.
run
It looks
through.
like Alex. Pit lane speed limit is 64 kilometers per hour.
Indeed, they will.
Box in 620
So,
meters.
in comes
Black
Bond, in
flag.
comes
Moving to pit to serve the
Zamora,
penalty.
and in comes Lavis, in comes Broad, in comes, who's the other one going in there with them? It might be Matty Schmidtke. Yes, it
Race
is.
control. I've got
So,
a black flag.
and Lipsky too.
I gotta say, I'm surprised to see Bondi slip in.
Me too. Me too. What's going on, young man? What's the reasoning for this, please?
Box in 5,
Hang on.
4,
If you accelerate at 5
3,
with the heading,
2,
Copy.
1.
Right
Alright.
here.
Let's see if it
Been
works.
given 28
Box now.
seconds stolen old for passing under yellow.
Right
I
front,
don't think
98%.
I'll be playing that flag.
Left rear,
I-
You've
98.
passed the safety car before the control line, haven't you?
Well, on pit entrance, I don't know what else you're supposed to do, so stupid
Yeah,
by
true.
racing, but
Yeah, agreed.
you-
Yeah.
You can't pass any car that's in front of you on the track going into the pits.
Yeah. So essentially, you would have had to have come in at Mickey Mouse tippy toe speed. That's why you're stuck there for 28 seconds. Everybody else is good because they haven't done it.
Yeah,
Poor Bondi.
thank you.
And actually, no,
Tough,
Eduardo
not a
Zamora
tough one.
got cocked around as well. He's been there for
He
41.
did.
So, yeah. So,
there's
both
a
you have
control
full power
line.
that.
It takes it
Yeah,
is
so
clear.
hang on.
Don't cross the line.
Incident
Incident in turn 5. You think it might be Wolf and Alex. There's a big pile of in turn 4. Okay, Craig. The next car is Maverick B license, and their rating is 1.9.
Whilst you're under pace car control, you'll get a penalty as you just did. But it's a pretty minor penalty, right? It's only yellow and you're going to end up. You don't really lose 28 seconds, just probably 3 positions on track. So you probably got out of that one pretty light there, Mr. Bond.
yeah, well, at least I got a free pit stop, so see what this.
Correct.
everything-
Yep.
There's an incident in turn 7. It looks
And-
like
And
Bull,
he's
Alex,
got good company
and
down
Rogers.
there too, Joe. He's got good company down there, right? He's going to have Schmidtke and McKernan behind him, but he's also going to be right there in the company of Adam Lavis, Tyson Broad, trying to push their way back through the field. He's in good company if he can tuck in and follow those guys. He's in good stead for this second stint. There's no doubt about that. So Stephen Bull leads it. Tazika's second, Rogers third, and Watto in
There's an incident
fourth.
in turn 9. Looks like it's Lipsky.
How is the moisture on the circuit out there at the moment, Bondi? Lights are still on the
Incident
safety
in
car, so
turn
it looks
11.
like we're going to
Looks
go around
like
for another
Bull
time.
and
But
Alex.
what's the moisture like out there? Because we've already seen a couple of people trip up on those puddles, and we're just wondering if they're ever going to disappear. They didn't last night in Brazil.
It's definitely clearing.
There's an
before
incident
that,
in turn 12. It looks like it's
go back
Bull
onto the
and
oval.
Alex.
It's clearing there and onto the main straight, it's starting to clear, so it's slowly but surely clearing, but it's caught me out a couple times. Just trying to push and maintain position, but that's what happens, and hopefully these safety cars don't keep me.
There's an
back
incident
down.
in turn 13. We think it might be Alex.
Truck at Mountain Men tomorrow night, reminding everybody that that's 50 laps. But then we get a week off and we're reconvening for our usual one-off inter-club challenge. The boys from FDL and SRW. And a lot of the regular faces here in the IndyCars will be lining up in that for the platforms of the GSRC Sunday, December 14. And I guess that's the one thing we must stress is that it's a Sunday night when it's usually been a Wednesday night fixture.
Yeah, correct. You know, getting into the Christmas season. And I think when we ran it this time last year, we had it after the end of the season
P15.
on a weekend as well. Sort of people are getting into holiday mode. So, yeah, I believe I think you said 14th, was it?
There's an incident in turn 1. Looks like it's Bull and
the track
Alex.
reveal, I think, is coming in sometime in the next week. Or might even be this weekend. But what is happening, I don't have all the details on hand completely, but there will actually be a GSRC stream that's going to be going out.
Incident in turn 3. It looks like Bull, Alex and Rogers.
And also, I believe they're going to cover off what we're doing next season. And there's also some end of season awards to hand out for the different club members.
There's an incident in turn 5. We think it might be Bull, Alex and Rogers. There's a big pile up in turn 6.
Members have voted on it, so if you haven't voted,
There's an incident in
get onto
turn
the
4.
Discord
We think it might be
and make sure
Zamora
you go put
and
your votes in for
McKiernan.
Who you want to? There's a bunch of questions there that the committee have put together to answer, to give back to you guys, to show appreciation to the people that run the show, that are involved in it, the drivers, your teammates. There's one there about best presented teams. There's a bunch of different questions.
There's an
there.
incident in
that
turn
stuff,
7.
I believe,
Looks
is
like
gonna be a
it's
stream,
Bull and Alex.
sometime, whether it's this weekend or next week sometime. I'd have to get the information off of Josh. But yeah, that's something to get across and get involved. Put your votes in and get across the broadcast when we run the AAWN. It's always a great race.
Indeed it is, and we're very excited to be bringing it to you once again. 7:30 Eastern Daylight Time, race start 8 o'clock Eastern Daylight Time,
Incident
Sunday,
in turn
December
10.
14.
Looks
Hope
like
you can
Bull.
join us for that. England, by the way,
Incident
still in
in
the field.
turn 11. It looks
Australia
like
batting
Bull,
58
Rogers
overs,
and Alex.
and now find themselves at 5 for 299. Alex Carey on to 10. Josh Inglis yet to score. We're lights out here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway on the safety car. It's coming back to pit lane. We're going back
It's a
racing this
big
time
mess
by.
in turn 12.
Stephen Bull and Alex Tzikis will lead the field to green.
Get ready,
Joe,
going
just for
green.
something different, once we get to the end of the first lap of this stint, we might chuck it on board with Bondi and crank the sound up and listen to these Indy NXT cars hard at work. We don't normally get a chance to do that, but I feel as though with a 95-minute race ahead of us tonight and still 65 of that to go, I think we get a chance to just relax and ease into it a little bit tonight and actually
There's an
hear these
incident
things
in
full
turn
flight.
14. We think
So
it might
let's do
be
that
Bull.
next time through. In the meantime, let's go
Green
back to
flag,
green.
green
Stephen Bull, Alex Tzikis lead us away. Paul Rogers and Marcus Watson in behind. Green flag flies. We're back racing. Can everybody get through the first corner without incident? That's what I'm
Left side.
so far. Oh, no, one wide. That was Greg Heaney.
Still there, hold
Evan
your
Rollo
line.
as well. Martin Lipsky, I think, also caught
East
up in
clear
that.
left. There's an incident in turn 4. It looks like it's Watson.
Go right.
Serving a bit of a slowdown there, but looks of it, or he's just being gobbled up one or the other. Watto. That was Watto. Watto's had a moment. Watto's pointing backwards. And Watto's coming back through the field from 14th. You know, that wasn't in the script. I couldn't quite get the ident on the car that had the initial problem. I think in the end it ended up being Edward Rollo, so my apologies for that. Let's have a look at Watson. This was Lipsky. So Lipsky was wide. Watto was already off the road by that point, so he bowled it wide. And cold tyres at turn 4.
There's an incident in turn 12. It looks like
3,
Bradbury.
2, 1.
Car right.
Oh, yeah.
We need 2
Clear
laps.
car right.
Still there. Hold your line.
Clear right.
Oh, in the water, up the main.
Up high. Oh, no, straight to the rear end of one of the orbit drop air cars.
21 points.
Now
Left
that's the only
side.
one left on the racetrack is Tyson Broad.
Keep to the right.
So Bradbury in the water.
Still there.
Clear left.
Now,
P9.
heading down the main straight without a front wing, it would seem.
Brilliant.
Watson back
Nice
in
one.
11th
Come on,
spot.
Craig.
Lavis in 10th, Bond in 9th. Bondy's already up to 9th. Nicely done. With all the carnage off the restart, Bondy's got himself up to 9th. They're trying to track down Greg Heaney. Let's go on board with Bondi and crank the sound up and listen to Bondy's car in action. I don't want Bondi to talk us through the lap. I want everybody to just watch and appreciate the young bloke, the teenager from Gun the Guy hard at work here. Look at the ground he's already covered to Greg Heaney. Let's crank it up, enjoy the lap and see if we can get the move done down the main straight.
Left side. Clear left.
Clear.
Awesome. Well done.
Brett Bradbury's picked up a penalty for that incident with Tyson Broad, 10 seconds. 10-second penalty for Brett Bradbury. Hey, that was good on board lap with Bondi. Well done.
We got that.
Walking for company, and you got that move on Greg Heaney, folks, which was nicely done by the young fella.
The director did a good job to catch it.
Absolutely. Correct.
It was just like people. It was just like. Hey, what? Speaking of making your own luck, Stephen Thornton, he's definitely got that.
Fast up the race, Cujo.
He's won the
8th place. Yellow flag. There's an incident in turn 1. We think it might be Leach. Car right.
Turn 1.
Clear right.
Turn 1.
Got the
Rear
really,
end? Yeah.
really aggressive on turning.
Yeah.
Jump on board, and you can see here. Watch how aggressive he is with the wheel. It's just, yeah, on that turning, he's just very aggressive as he's
Car
turning
left.
in, and the car hadn't settled when he picked the front.
Clear left.
And just, yeah. Got the rear loose and away.
Come on, Craig. Don't panic. We'll get him back.
For Guy there. How cool is this motor? Look at that fucking bubblegum wrapper.
It is. Bubble O Bill or something like that. It's giving me those sort of vibes. The old ice block. Yeah, exactly. or the rainbow paddle pop and billabong. It's kind of got that colour scheme to it as well. Down the main straight we go. Lap 24 of, they say 69. And based on the fact that it's a 95-minute race and we're 36 minutes in, oh jeez. Yeah, they'll be pushing it. They'll really be pushing it, actually. I'm not entirely convinced we get there, but we'll wait and see. We'll wait and see. But there's still obviously some pit stops to play out, there's some strategy to play out, maybe a second competition portion as well. 1 minute 15, we should get there. Actually, I'm just trying to work it out. 9.8 to 72, so, I mean, at this pace, about 1 minute 18 a lap, we should get there. But at the moment, we're shooting up 37 minutes. 2 is 74, and that leaves 21. And we're only on lap 24, so I'm not sure. I'm not entirely convinced that we might not lose a lap or two here, which would be standard procedure for us at the Brickyard.
Yeah, definitely.
Because we lost a few laps. We lost, what was it, 4 laps in the Indy 500k earlier in the year?
Yeah, in the wall.
Biggie.
Bondi.
Oh, come on, Bondi.
Would you get the water there, Bondi, or would she just understand?
I don't know what you guys talk about. I did not touch a wall.
Okay, it must have been Guy Leach behind you then. I know it was a blue car.
All right, let's have a look at a replay of Guy Leach then if we can, Joe. Have a look. Oh, wow. That was going to get messy. You're right, Bondi. Up the outside you go. Try and stay out of it, would you? Try not to get involved. Oh, you're right in the middle of it here.
Right.
Bond's there. He's got Martin Davis behind him. He's got Guy Leach as well for company. And John O'Harris is ahead of him. Marcus Watson too. Adam Lavis not far off that battle pack as well. Was it Guy Leach? That's probably a good pick for you, Joe.
No, I think it was Guy.
Now, has he sustained any serious damage in all of that? We'll find out.
We keep saying how Matt Race is smart. You watch him there, he wasn't aggressive on anyone. He let them guys plan their own little battles, and as they lost out from battling the guys in front of them,
E7.
got about 3 positions in that. Struggling to hang with Steve Bull here. He's got a wet sail at the moment as Bull, as he's pumped in another fast lap.
Incident in turn 4. Looks like it's Harris.
6 on the last one.
Car ahead is Brooker, and their rating is 3.9.
1:16.976 was the fastest lap last time round from Stephen Bull. 1:16.503 for Marcus Watson, the fastest lap of the race. 1:16.6 for Bull, his best. Leach, Lavis, Davis, Broad, Zamora and Heaney are all in close proximity at the moment. That's the battle for 7th. Bondi's just ahead of them, about 1.3 seconds up the road. But this guy is champion-elect at the moment. His name is Stephen Bull. The one night that I'm in the commentary box that he gets a clean run will be the night that he wraps up the championship, because every night I've been here, it's typical though he's running into trouble. He ran into trouble last week. He couldn't avoid the spinning Adam Lavis. He ran into trouble at the Red Bull. He ran into trouble in Iowa. Every time I've been there commentating, he ran into trouble in bloody Illinois and still come back and finished in a decent position. Yeah, there's there's all sorts of pressure on Stephen Bull
Slippery surface flag.
not fall foul of running into trouble or running into an incident or getting caught up in somebody else's mess or making a mistake in his own board tonight. There's a lot riding on having a clean
On your
run
right.
and securing
Clear
this
right.
title. Craig Bond's got by Luke Brooker. Bondi's up into 5th. Now goes out in pursuit of Marcus Watson.
Well done, Craig. Great move. Keep it up.
You got to keep an eye on the battle between Paul Rogers and Luke Brooker as well. There's only 6 points between them guys, and they're only like 42 points behind Adam as well. So it's going to be Adam's climbing back up after his early misfortune. So he's back up to 8th after starting 7th. But Rogers and Brooker here. There's only a handful of points between them guys for 3rd, 7th podium. And
Car in front is Watson, B license, and their rating is 4.6. P5.
Haven't got a rock round to fall back on either. Not one that pays any decent amount of points anyway. Who's that? Tyson Broad. It's Tyson. Uh-oh. Nice. Oh, Ria's got away.
One.
Yep.
Every time
Gap to
off the
P6
restart
behind
so
is
far,
now
it's been turn one,
1.5.
hasn't it? That's what,
Okay,
3
Craig.
now?
The next car is Rogers, and their rating is 3.8.
It's that sort of night. It's that sort of night. Stephen Bill, Alex Kazikis, then Marcus Watson, Paul Rogers. There's Brett Bradbury squeezing down the inside ahead of Jonathan Harris. That was a bold move from Bradbury, but he made it stick on lap 28 at the Brickyard. Oh, Bradbury's off the road. He'll lose that spot to Harris immediately after getting it back. That's unlucky for Bradbury.
New fastest lap for Watson, 116.1. You've got about 4 laps of fuel left. That was a 117.2.
Harris back down the inside.
Not a lot of grip out there, mate.
No, especially when it's damp. Oh, this is great racing. Brooker, so Bonding's on his own in 5th because Brooker's just got by and
gap
Davis
to
has just
Rogers
got by.
ahead
Leach.
is
So
increasing.
if
It's
Leach
now
did damage the
3.1.
car whilst he crunched the wall there on the main straight a couple of moments ago, it would be reflected in the fact that he has lost a couple of spots here and is just working with a compromised car, potentially a little bit of a damaged car, trying to nurse it through to a pit stop where he can get a fast repair. Again, I didn't see the incident. I only heard Joe mention it.
It didn't come up on my thing as a crash, and it wouldn't have been a 1X where but he did get the wall coming out of the last corner on the front straight. I did see it in the battery. Martin Lipsky's had an incident. Turn 1. No. Turn 2. Yep. Similar thing.
17.237.
You've got about 3 laps of fuel left. Your lap time was at 117.2.
Okay.
How many times? How many times? So Leach, Brooker, Leach has got back by. Okay, so now I'm not certain that Leach has actually got an issue at all. Maybe it's just that he hasn't been able to break clear of this pack and has got boxed in and had to fight for position. And slipstream is strong in these cars as well, especially on a road course with a long main straight like that. In comes Martin Davis. So we're getting close to that second round of pit stops, Joe. 14 was the threshold, 15 for the first lap, for the first stint. They've saved a couple of laps with the caution period over 3 laps there. So we're looking at probably lap. There's the second caution anyway, so that'll be the critical number. Everyone's in, everyone will be in. Not this time by, but because the pit lane will be closed at this particular moment, but they will be in next time by. And that's just eliminated the strategy of this stint. Well,
Oh, no, well, they stopped on 15, then they had like three laps behind the safety car, so they should have been right, yeah.
Martin Davis actually had already completed his stop
There's an incident in turn
on
1.
that lap.
I think it might
Martin
be
Davis went in
only
at
2
the
more
start of
laps
lap
of fuel.
29. So he's obviously got in and out. He was on pit road before the safety car was called, so he's sweet. But
Yeah, you know
he's
what
also...
that's going to do for him.
Oh, hang on. No, that's not cool. Tyson Broad's just blitzed straight by him, and I'm not sure why, because
There's an
behind the
incident
caution,
in turn 3. It looks like
and
it's
Davis
Bull.
was actually ahead of Broad on track. So I'm not sure that race control won't have a look at that one.
Harris and Bradbury are coming in the pits. They must not have enough fuel
Incident
to
in turn
do a
5.
lap
It looks
around
like Bull.
behind the safety car. We're still not even halfway into the race.
Correct. Oh, I've got a, as I say, I've got a nasty feeling. Look at where we are, Joe. That's lap 31. It's only a 95-minute race. We've got 38 laps to go. you don't need to be a
There's an
rocket
incident
scientist to
in
work
turn
out that
7.
we're in a
It
little
looks
bit of
like
trouble with
ball.
regards to not getting the full complement of laps in. We could
Correct.
very well go time certain. And everybody's going to have to be awake to that now with regards to their strategy.
Yeah, and you're right. That's going to throw fuel numbers out. So we probably should mute Bondy. He's going to be listening to this stuff.
I know.
But it will.
Why
Yeah.
do you think he's in here?
Yeah, I know, right? We yeah. So the fuel numbers when you go time certain.
There's an incident in turn 10. We think it might be Alex.
A lot of your fuel number calculators, like there's a couple of really good ones, and it'll actually adjust for both on the fly. There was one called. It was probably the best one I ever used. It was called
Incident
SODI,
in turn 12.
SODE,
It looks like it's
SODI,
ball.
and it would have numbers up there like lap on lap, and it'd give you down to all, like 2 decimal points of how many laps worth of fuel you had, if there was laps to go, if on the time that's left, how much you're going to need, and it gave you percentages of what you need
Yellow
to
flag.
save to make it home. So I haven't seen any of them as good as Sodi.
Watch your speed.
Oh, I tell you what, these guys are going to want to be careful.
Box in,
Oh.
620
Well, that's right, because they're all,
metres.
3 or 4 of them are past the safety car. Well, this is not going to be cool. And that's Tzidakis, Watson and Bull, 3 guys that should know better. And Davis has gone through, and why wouldn't he? Martin Davis will lead this race because he stopped on lap 29. He stopped before everybody.
That's right.
He pitted literally just before the safety car was deployed. And so too, for that matter, did Tyson Broad, but he's gone into
Box in,
top up anyway.
5,
Fuel left.
4,
Either way I see it, there is
3,
going to be
2,
one more pit stop
1.
between now and the end of the race. Like, even
Box
if
now.
we go on laps, we're 37.
Left front,
60, we'll be
91%.
35 to the
Left
end,
rear, 91.
14. Oh, that'll be a 2-stop. But I think on time, these guys should run this out
Move
of
it, move
fuel
it.
and fill it up, and that'll get them home.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, one more stop, you would imagine, from here. And the reason, like, I mean, I'm trying to crunch the numbers, but I'm also keeping an
All
eye on
clear.
the cricket,
Push
and I've got
now.
Mum texting me on the other line as well. So I'm trying to multitask.
There's an incident
here.
in
And,
turn 1. Looks
because,
like it's
Mum
Zamora,
sometimes
Harris,
gets mail that's
and
already
Leach.
in the residential address for down there. In Cessnock, and always has been, and never changes. Just because Mum keeps, important documents
Incident
on
in
file.
turn
for me.
5. We think it
And,
might be Davis.
She said, "Oh, you got a letter from the bank today." I said, "Yeah, I know what I know exactly what it's about, and I'll go and sort it out next week because I'm going home next week." And I don't have a branch of that bank up here, so it'll be a case of go down there and sort out, dot the I's, cross the T's, etc. So now that I've looked after that, I should hopefully be able to focus on this a little bit more. Black flag, Edward Rollo. There you go. There's your first casualty for what's unfolded on pit lane. Edwards picked up a penalty coming out of pit lane. Did anyone?
There's
did
an incident
anybody pick
in
up a
turn
penalty
7.
on
It
pit
looks
road?
like
No,
Davis.
there were no stop and holds contained within that last sequence of pit stops. Martin Davis up 17 spots as the leader of the race at the moment. Marcus Watson best placed of those that haven't got a penalty coming their way because Zamora can't serve that until the safety car goes in. He can't serve that under safety car conditions, so he's stuffed essentially for this next stint. I'm looking at the maths here, and again, it's not my strong point, Joe, but a minute 15 a lap, right? A minute 15 a lap is what we're looking at.
There's an incident in turn 10.
That's
It looks
right.
like
and
ball.
that's the only reason it's a minute
Incident
15 a
in
lap.
turn
Because
11.
16
Looks
one,
like
it's
it's
just too hard
Davis.
with it being a minute 16. So let me say that a minute 15 a lap, 4 laps every 5 minutes, and 8 equals 10, right? So 8 laps 10 minutes, right? We've got 95.
There's an incident in turn 12. We think it might be
So-
Davis.
Technically, 9/8 is 72.
Get
Right.
ready, going green.
You following me?
Yep.
And then another 4 is 76. That technically should get us past, that should get us home on those laps. However, take into
Incident in
consideration
turn
that
14. We think
the
it might be
times under
Davis.
caution, well, the last time through for Edward Rollo was 2 minutes 35. As safety
Yep.
car comes back to pit lane and race gets
And
back
he's just
on.
burned himself.
Indeed, he has. 248, 251, 247.
Green
So
flag, green
100% he
flag.
did. So he's burned himself twice. So we'll probably have a second drive through penalty too. And it's the smallest penalty because the longest pit lane in the northern hemisphere. Nav was climbing his way back in with. That's good observation from Sean Benici. We're back underway here, by the way, folks, but I'm still
Hold your
trying to
line.
make sense of the mathematics of it.
Still there.
We're losing, like, that
Right
last
side's
time
clear.
Scott was 3 minutes behind
Clear
the
right.
safety car, so that's
There's an
2.5
incident in
regular.
turn
1
3.
second!
Looks like it's
Bond
Davis.
is gone! He's on the grass! So too Martin Davis! Straight off for restart, can you believe that?
Oh,
We can get rid of the safety car graphic too, Joe. We're out of the safety car.
Sorry, I was too busy.
Yeah.
following
Car in
the
front of us is Bradbury. Their rating is
So Watson's
1.4.
gone to leading all the way. Ball to Zikas, Rogers, Broad, Renzamora, then Leach, then Lavis, Harris, Brook, Schmidtke, Heaney, Lipsky, Shabor McKernan's just been passed by Brett Bradbury. There's so much going on. So much going on.
Martin did the exact same thing in the same spot.
Yep, if it's not turn 1,
Yeah, right,
it's
Charles,
usually
look at that,
turn
please.
2, and if it's not turn 3 or 2, it's 3 and 4. So all that is played out. Edward Rollo's back on pit road still. That stop and hold's a very long one for him. He's going to go a lap down here, and that is so costly for Edward Rollo. He's going to have to unlap himself on the next caution. So but where the problem stacks up with regards to getting to, what did I say, 76, we're not going to get to 76 laps. But the times just aren't there. You're losing a couple of seconds a lap. Plus you got pit stops to consider in. And we know how long the transit is here.
15th place. Don't panic. You've got time to sort this out.
If you don't mind, I mean, we're already past half race distance, but we're not past half race distance in laps. We're 8 minutes past
Red
half
and
race
yellow
distance.
flag
We
for
already had our
debris.
first 2 cautions. I think there will be a third one coming
1.2 seconds.
before the end of this race. I can't see how they... Oh, you don't think so? It's only 2?
No. I'm pretty certain there's only 2.
Okay. Well, that's interesting. That there's only 2 in a 90-minute race, and they're both being thrown before the first hour is done. Lavis is wide at the end of the back straight. He clips the grass on the way through, and just plummets down the order. He'll be dejected with that. He'll
So
be very
did you say
disappointed.
car
He'll be
34?
despondent. Quite frankly,
You're
how
right.
that's played out. He's got good company. I was down there with Bondi right now. They're going to try and work back through the field together. So it's yeah, it's all happening. Watson,
right.
Gould, Zikas, Broad, Rogers, Zamora, Leach, Brooker, Schmidtke's being passed
Clear
by
right.
Harris. Harris goes up the outside.
Nice pass.
1:16.1, the fastest other race for Watson. That time through a 1:16.2. There's a lot to be excited about with regards to the back end of this race, but 35 laps to go. I'm not sure we can
13th
35
place.
laps in. We'll push it. If we go green all the way, maybe there's an outside chance. 35 and 40, 35 and 41. No, that won't work. Because 40 would be, yeah, we're going to fall at least a lap short, I reckon. What do we say? We're saying 35 laps. So we're half race distance now. Half race distance, 34 and a half down, 34 and a half to go. But we've only got 41 minutes on the clock, 40 and a half minutes on the clock. The numbers we were crunching earlier,
Right side's clear.
taking
Nice
into
one, Craig.
consideration
Good
pit stops,
pass.
they
Nice
weren't
front.
taking into consideration the fact that we're the north side of 1 minute 16.1 as far as our lap times are concerned. So on those numbers, right, if you've only got 40 minutes to go, 32 is the number that I'm crunching. That's the number I'm getting to. So 32 or 33 is where we get to. And whether it's one more stop or not, that remains to be seen too. If it's 2, that's definitely going to cruel it. So it's either going to be 67 or 68. I don't think we get to 69. Right, that's the best I can drum up at the moment.
16.111. Okay, halfway to the finish. 17.088.
P12.
We're talking about the race.
Well, yeah,
Oh,
that's
you're
what I was
left.
going to say.
You're on the left.
What? One short of a date night. Yes, anyway, Marcus Watson, Stephen Bull, and Tyson
On your
Broad,
left.
and wide is Broad. Was that?
Clear
No,
left.
yes, that was Broad. Going up in the third spot. What a comeback from him.
Good work, mate. Keep
What
it
a
up.
comeback from Tyson Broad. He's a man on a mission. He's right back in this.
He had that misfortune on that one that took the front wing off and it's sort of been on the back step.
Let us know if you want race time.
His pace, his best lap time is a 16.26. Dead Bull's a 16.11. Like there's bugger all in this and 16.14 from Watson. So, and Alex, his best time is a 16.29. I'm not even going to try. Is that Sikas?
Car right.
Sarkis?
Tzitzikis is what I'm going
Clear
with.
right.
I'm not. But you know what? You watch. The T will be silent.
Nice one, mate. Well done, Craig.
It will be zip. Like as
Yeah,
in cost the zoo.
Yeah, we need the phonetic spelling of that name before too long, I think.
10th position.
In the meantime, Australia are 5 for 327, ladies and gentlemen. There are 40 minutes left in the day's play. The Aussies only trail by 7 on first innings points. They've got 5 wickets in the shed. They've got 2 options. They either declare as soon as they hit the lead and put England back in and let Starkey have at it with the pink ball for half an hour under lights and get it swinging all over the place and get them on the ropes, or they build the lead and look to bat into tomorrow and maybe bat through and give themselves a profit of 150 if best case scenario. So there's a lot riding on this. Carey and Inglis out there at the moment. Carey 13, Inglis 21 off as many balls. 63.1 overs gone, run rate 5.18. Ben Stokes 1 for 90 through 15. He's been carded for 6 and over at the moment. And the master of Bazball is being Bazball himself, and Inglis is lucky to still be there. He edged one straight to 4th slip, but it went through the hands. Now, back here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, Brett Bradbury. I promised we'd go around the grounds, but you're now getting a little bit of live play-by-play commentary if you're around the grounds as well. So invested am I in both the GSRC and also the Ashes. I hate when there's an overlap between the two. It was an absolute nightmare in 2023 because I was sitting here watching all the action from the respective test matches in England, and they were only getting underway live as we were on air. 38 to 69 again. I think we can eliminate the late number
looks
at
like
this point.
Rocco.
With 37 minutes to go, again, I'm trying to crunch it. I'm trying to find a plausible, a conceivable way that we get to 69. I just can't get there at the moment, again, maths isn't a strong point. Maybe I'm missing something here. Maybe I'm not. I don't know.
Right side.
I just don't think we'll
Clear
get to
right.
69.
You're on the right.
Probably a lap short. I think you're right. Your maths usually is pretty well.
Sweet pass,
quiet.
mate.
You've got Luke Brooker. Remember, he's finished 3rd in the championship. And, no, that's not going to get it.
Me saying that me talking about my maths, Joe, is a bit like Brenton Hobson downplaying his chances of whatever car he drops behind the wheel of. So, I haven't got a leg to stand on in that argument, quite frankly. Eduardo Zamora over the main straight. See, there's still puddles of water on the circuit, and we're then tearing around there at full tilt for the better part of an hour. It's taking a long while to clear that water.
16.9.
Bonnie, how are you finding it, please? On the comeback trail in 9th?
I'm no longer going to play nice anymore because it keeps costing me more and more every time I do it.
Good boy. And we've got that on the record as well, so I'm sure Race Control will appreciate the fact that you said that on the record. William Haycock's in there just warming up the sharp. Oh dear. Let's wait and see. He's chasing Jonathan Harris at the moment. The conditions are what, sorry?
They're really well right now. They're getting nice and dry, so it's alright.
Excellent. Benny Stokes has just picked up Josh Inglis for 23, and Australia is 6 for 321. Trailing by 5. And the other reason too, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, I'll send you the invoice in the mail, but I was asked politely by the Western Game guy. He said, if I'm going to hang out and listen to you do your commentary, you better keep me updated with the cricket. And I said, yep, absolutely, my pleasure. I'll do that for you. Here's Brett Bradbury under pressure from Martin Davis. Been a big year, Joe. I mean, I've been limping through, I feel as though I've been limping through the checkered flag this last couple of weeks, like just to hit the wall of, I've probably pushed myself a little bit too far this year, and I'm paying the price. I'm exhausted, and I haven't been sleeping well, so I'm looking forward to tools down, having a break, etc. What a season it's been. The club's just gone from strength to strength. Membership numbers continue to be on the right side of growth. They're on the rise. That's what we like to see. It all bodes well for us to have a 6-week break and come back firing into year number 7. I can't believe I'm going to say that. Year number 7 in 2026, mate. And obviously a changing of the guard this year. Taking over from your... here's Martin Lipsky off the road too, by the way. Year number 7. Changing of the guard this year. Josh Suno in as president. You've, of course, stepped down after a solid stint in the role and a very successful one. Very much looking forward to seeing what comes of next year. And I'm also, and I'm
left side,
interested in your thoughts
clear
on
left.
this, his Bondy on the inside of John O'Harris, got him, well played. Harris
Come on,
back
Craig.
into ninth
Nicely
place,
done.
Bond into 8th, and that's very nicely done by Bondy, but the problem is he's got 5 seconds to Eduardo Zamora. That's his real problem at the moment. He's got to try and reel in 5 seconds to Zamora, and without a safety car to
Left
play
side.
with, or bank on,
Clear left,
wide,
P8.
that's going to be like pushing the proverbial uphill for the boy from Gunny Guy. Down the main straight we go. 33 minutes of racing to come for you on the platforms of the Gentleman Sim Racing Club. I think we can do away with the 41 or 69 because we've already worked out that we're not going to get the full complement.
Red yellow flag. Watch for debris on the track.
There's Bradbury wide to turn 1. Davis around the outside. Got him. Nice. Through on the inside. Bradbury spooked by that a little bit. Davis holds the line and holds under 13th for the moment. And behind them is Luke Brooker. Lipsky, McKernan and Rollo all out of business. And Rollo, that was a cruel 1 minute 10 second stop and hold on pit lane for him. And because it cost him a lap and he doesn't get a chance to get that back now. So he's out of contention. Connor Nixon, the only genuine retirement so far. But the trucker, yeah, it bodes well for next year. So I'm interested in your thoughts on that and year-on-year growth and what we do to try and continue on that trajectory in 2026. But also, I saw some news earlier today that the homologation of the Toyota GT3 has gone through in the real world. So I cannot wait to see how long it is until iRacing brings that into the virtual world as well.
And you've also got the Supra for the supercars as well.
Yeah.
I would imagine with the what iRacing is doing with like Toyota Motor Company, they're going to want to expedite getting that in, you know, with the professional series with the supercars that goes on down here and whatnot. So it's certainly going to be, but I absolutely am sure it'll be in by till the middle of the year at the latest, because it's not a physics update, it's only a visual. They've already got the base supercar, it's exactly the same between the Ford and the Chev, but it's just going to be the visuals that'll be different. But I think the service itself has lent itself to growth within the GSRC. Right, I remember 5 years ago thinking, oh god, no, iRacing's got too many cars, there's too much choice, there's too many tracks, and we're never going to get to use them all. And here we are now, and it's like, we can't wait for this car to turn up, we can't wait for this. And, you know, there's 11 GT3s or whatever we're looking at now, and you know, so it's a nice diverse range. And it's just bringing in a range of guys who are, you know, guys who love Mercedes, guys who love Fords, guys who love this, guys who love that, who want to be a part of it. And so I don't think it's just our good fortune of what we've done. I think iRacing has helped us, and we've helped them as well. So
The gap to P9 behind is increasing. It's now 1.0.
We've just gone strength to strength at the right time. I think the inception of the club, we've probably timed it really, really well. COVID came about just after, and that sort of helped our member base kick off. And we've just grown. I think 2 years ago was when the big growth of like members.
All right, Craig. The next car is Zamora B license, and their rating is 2.8.
Which has been fantastic. And you're always going to have people fall off and people, you know, they're not happy with what's going on, and they step away and go and do something different. But a lot of them guys have come back to the club, you know, after 6 months, 3 months, 5, whatever it may be. So
Marcus Watson to pit lane. Marcus Watson to pit lane. And now, if he's coming in on 43, Joe, and we're saying we're going 67, 68, there's this and another pit stop to come.
yeah, he's going to have 2 stops.
Yeah. But I think it's a problem that's going to be felt by everybody.
Absolutely. Yeah, so there'll be one big stop. Well, you're either going to do it one full tank run and a splash and go, or you split it up with 2 medium ones front.
Correct. So, your point is valid. Although there'll be a few supercar fans sitting back saying, "Oh, they're not all the same." Otherwise, they wouldn't be whinging and moaning and groaning about parity all the bloody time.
Well, in real life, it's probably harder to get parity than it is in the city.
Correct. But yeah, aesthetically,
If only it was that
I
easy.
can't wait to see what they bring when they bring the Toyota in. I think that'll add a real interesting dynamic to it. By the way, scores are level at the Gabba. Scores are level. 6 for 334. Alex Carey on 18, Michael Neese yet to score. Cass has 3 for 112 through 16.4. So him and Ben Stokes have been absolutely top all over the Gabba. Run rates beyond 5 and over. It's just an extraordinary day of cricket that everybody up there has witnessed. I'm a little bit jealous.
P6, we think you'll be out of fuel on the next lap.
It's a spectacular day of cricket, which started with Australia still in the field. England put on 9 runs before being bowled out, and then what's followed has been 64.4 overs of carnage. So Australia have out-bazzed ball.
Car left.
Oh, hang on. Only
Clear left.
8.55 seconds of Tyson Broad on pit road on that time through. So he's doing the short stick now.
Nice one, mate.
Otto was there for 13.27 seconds. So that's a good observation. Martin Lipsky due on the pit lane anytime now. So to everybody from Siobhan McKernan up. And Edward Rollo down. So Edward Rollo is due on pit lane again still in 18.
Okay,
Davis
Craig,
has
in
been
this
there,
lap,
Ward has been
in
there,
this lap.
Watson's been there. Everybody else still due, with Lipsky, of course, in 14. So that's the top 14 still yet to stop. And now here is
The car in front is
Tzidakis and Guy Leach on the pit road right now.
Gauge
So the pit
limiter
stops
box
are
in
starting to play out. Craig
620
Bond's in this
metres.
time through as well.
Black flag, you need to come into the
Working
pits to
down
serve
guy. Was
it.
sitting in fifth there earlier. Exciting. The interesting thing for mine will be. Yeah, absolutely. I'm very interested to see just the different dynamic that Toyota adds to it, because, and the reason I say that, Joe, we've never seen it in iRacing, but
Box
we
in,
will, in the real world,
4,
we didn't see the
3, 2,
the real world manufacturers of Mercedes, Nissan,
Box
or
now.
Volvo adopted into the sim. I think we will with Toyota, because Toyota's obviously
Front
got a bit
right,
stronger presence on the platform
88%. Rear left,
of
89.
iRacing in recent years, and obviously with supercars having that direct alignment in recent times as well, plus Adelaide, plus other factors, plus Motorsport Australia, etc., etc. I think there will be some urgency placed on getting the Toyota in there. It'll just add a different dynamic because Toyota's such a represented, well-respected brand right around the world, and a reliable, durable manufacturer. I can't wait. I think obviously there'll be some interest in how it plays out in the real world as well, because obviously they've been down this path before of bringing other manufacturers in, and it hasn't worked. It's folded. Oh, Bondi, what have you done? Bondi, what have you done?
Oh no.
I bet you can guess.
I bet I can. You sped into pit lane, didn't you?
Yeah.
Oh,
All clear on pit exit.
his race is done. He's out there playing with Edward Rollo now. Oh, dear.
Surely right.
The guy in front is Bradbury, and their rating is
You
1.4.
can. Absolutely
Rogers,
you can.
car number
But
110 is now
I'm
in the
not
lead.
sure you've got the pocket
That's the
money
new fastest
required
lap
to be
for
able to
Watson,
do
115.9.
Bradbury, the Curbs, claim another victim. Yeah,
Okay,
that's a
Craig,
biggie
the fuel
too.
window
Really
opens
is
on
gone.
lap
So Bradbury's on the
55,
tail.
and
Well,
it
there
will
you go.
close on
There
lap
you go. But
58.
You got one
We
spot
didn't
back.
record pit timings. Our fuel estimates won't be reliable.
Bradbury's just gifted that one to you.
The guy in front is Brooker, and their rating is 3.9.
Oh
Wait a
dear.
minute for that one.
Yep. Absolutely. Oh, actually, you just mentioned it. It's December, isn't it? I'm surprised I haven't heard more of one yet, actually. Heaney, Lavis, Harris, McKernan, Lipsky all off pit lane that time through. Critical lap that was for Stephen Bull, for also Rogers, Zamora, Schwicki and Heaney. All those guys.
Heads up, there's a car rejoining.
The difference in strategy, some are going long, some are going short. So some are going for the
16th
short
place.
run home, others are going for the full run home. We knew that was going to be an option. We knew
Car
that would
right.
play out
Right side's
at
car right.
some point,
Clear
based on
right.
where those safety cars had fallen, based on the fact that we worked out that it's going to be a minimum 4-stop race. And that is minimum, because we've seen obviously a couple of guys start from pit lane, a couple of guys take the extra opportunity behind the safety car. So there's Tyson Broad showing and Strabon and Kernan showing 5 pit stops. Tyson's got 6, 4 for Marcus Watson. Yeah, we were enjoying it too, Brett. Unfortunately, mate, bad luck. Bradbury's done at the second retirement of the night, and we went another 38 laps without a retirement, Joe. 38 laps without a retirement. But yeah, I'm interested because obviously, it's a bit like
C
their
license.
plans for
Their rating
international
is
expansion,
2.9.
right? International expansion works, I guess, with the links of the virtual world. We can take it globally and race on, any virtual playground we like within the server.
You're
That's
reeling
great.
P14.
Expansion hasn't
The gap
worked
is now
beyond our
1.4
shores,
seconds.
and New Zealand obviously the exception, because they're essentially, a cousin, a neighbour. It hasn't worked outside of that Trans-Tasman region in the past. I don't think the presence of Toyota changes that, but what I'm interested to see is if Toyota stay, will it be as long or longer or more successful than Mercedes, Nissan and Volvo last decade. That's my real interest in all of what's going on across the course of the off-season in 2026.
Yeah, it's definitely a big option. And look, the grand final that finished off proceedings the other day was pretty wild.
That's not even a word.
I cannot say. Look, whilst I'm happy that Chazzy won it, and he probably should have had a championship now, I'm not a fan of the playoff system. I think it's SH1T. I don't like it in NASCAR. It's not, we're not a stick and ball sport.
No.
It's and even that's just maybe I'm an old geriatric for thinking that it's rubbish.
Car left, clear left.
Everybody knew the rules at the start of the season. I just feel shattered for Feeney.
Come on, Craig. Good stuff. Keep it coming.
He is absolutely deserving of a championship.
Lavers, yes, on the inside of Greg Heaney, up into position number 9 now. Very nicely played. I agree with you, Joe. I'm like, for me, it was too much. It was less sport, more entertainment. It was, fabrication and manipulation of and artificial, the way in which they've gone about manufacturing it. Purely for
the guy ahead is McKeon at B license, and their rating is 3.5.
Footy finals, you've got teams that are still in contention playing teams that are still in contention. You don't have non-championship contenders out on the field battling up against. So I have many different issues with that, but my week's been a bit too right, so I haven't had a chance to actually voice that yet. And I've got to tread lightly because, I've known Chaz for 23 years, I've known Brock for the last 7 or 8. I know both those guys, I got a lot of time for them. Brock's still good news when I pump into him in the paddock. So,
P13.
What I take issue with, Joe, and I said it the other night, was the way in which the fans have hurled their slander in the direction of the drivers and the teams. At the end of the day, your issue is with supercars. If you don't like the format, push back on that. They won't listen.
The next car is Rooker, and their rating is 3.9.
Don't blame the teams. The teams are only playing to the rule book that's set for them by the powers that be above, who are there in the entertainment sector, not in the sports sector.
Yeah, and look, and I'm sure everybody has got an opinion on the lap 1 incident. Now, my take is between Woody and Feeney, 6 to 1, half dozen the other. Yeah, Woody was aggressive. He was always going to go for a move like that. But in saying that, Brock sort of set his own destiny by not looking at, and this is my opinion, people can agree with me, disagree with me, I'm fine, I've got thick skin, I don't care, but the way I see that, Brock sort of put himself in that position by squeezing him against
The gap to McKeon behind is increasing. It's now 3.1. You've just done it on 16.6.
And Lachlan up there at town,
Newcastle, yeah, and 2017, yeah.
Very similar. I mean, that was on a corner exit on the straight. This one was a corner entry to a 90-degree corner.
Yeah.
right, should have just left enough room, a bit of room. He did not have to race with me, he had to race Chaz. And only had to finish within one position of Chaz to take the championship.
Yeah.
But, I mean, at the end of the day, that all comes to naught with the, the wiring issue or the gremlin or whatever it was that unfortunately took Feeney out of it. Do I think Feeney, without those issues, do I think Feeney could have got back in? Absolutely. The guy went from last to first last year. The guy's a talent.
That's right. In saying all of that,
some of the fans that give themselves a good uppercut with some of the comments I've seen over last week. It's just
100%, absolutely disgraceful. In saying all of that, right, the only difference between Lowndes, McLaughlin, Feeney Wood was that one was towards the back end of the race when it was cutthroat, and the other was lap one at 78. You did not need to be, and I must admit, I don't normally take active interest in goes in the world these days. I wasn't watching for any other reason than I was curious to see how our fears would be realised in that we would have an asterisk next to the result because of that finals system. When you look at the numbers that were crunched on Monday by
the gap to P14 behind is increasing. It's now 4.5.
So there's a lot of people are going to have an issue with that. And I also tuned in because there's a lot of speculation, a lot of rumour mill doing the rounds that Neil Compton won't be in that position next year. And I thought, well, it'd be nice to listen to Cromley's, if it's his last full-time regular season call, go for it. Have a listen to that. Because at the end of the day, he's been there longer than anybody else, whether you like him or not. He's been the voice of the sport for a generation.
1978, I think I read the other day, he was racing motocross and actually had injured himself. And somebody said, oh, well, if you can't race, and jump up in the booth, and that was the start of what we've got now in the show. Was it 29 years?
Okay, Craig, you're reeling P12 in. The gap is 4.6. We're matching race pace. You're 2/10 off the pace in sector 2.
So he was at the ABC for a little bit in the early 80s as well. But
that's half fuel. You've used half your fuel.
Era, right? There's only 1 year since the start of the millennium, 2001. There's only 1 year in which he wasn't in the booth, right? So let's do an on-board lap with Marcus. We can do that very shortly, actually. Let's go on board with him. Let's keep talking. We'll crack the volume up in a moment. Your wish is out of the mind tonight, ladies and gentlemen. We're here just to tick the box and see this one through because Stephen Bull has got his hands on the championship irrespective of where this bloke finishes, Marcus Watson. Joe's going to have a play with the onboard shots there, give you a few different views as we go. 2002 was the only year in this century, in this last 25 years, where he wasn't in the booth. So he's been in the booth. He's the soundtrack to it for longer than any other commentator has ever been on free-to-air or paid television in terms of the broadcast that beams out to the world. So the only year he was in the not in the commentary box, he had a drive. He had 00 Motorsport. He had that Ford Falcon with Freddie Gibson. So he's avoiding light traffic there is Marcus. Have a look at him.
Clear right.
He's so all over the place with that, like the movement.
Okay, Craig, the next car is Brad B license, and their rating is 4.5.
There's a lot going on in that cockpit at the moment. So yeah, I was tuned in for that very reason. It was like one boys. It was like 178. There probably didn't need to be that level of aggression on the opening lap, but how many times have we seen it? And here's another example: the GSRC platforms. It has to be won on the first lap. Well, it can be lost on the first lap, and it very truly was. Okay, take nothing away from the mechanical issue. Good that questions will be asked as to why.
Zamora, he's entering the pits. He's in P7. I think he'll come out just behind you. P13.
Zamora, had he nursed at home on the old point system, he still gets the championship, and that's the point that won't sit well with a lot of people over the course of the summer. It's not just Ford's people, but it's also Holden people that have had those views. And as I say, I'm a Ford fan by rule of thumb. So, and for me to say that I can't help but there's an asterisk next to it.
On your left.
Normally I take it that Ford would really go and get it.
Clear left.
No, I wasn't.
Car left.
I wasn't terribly. Don't get me wrong, nothing wrong with Chaz, nothing against him.
Clear left.
Yeah. Agreed with you, Sharpie. Although that being said, I was calling it for radio at the same time, so I had to listen to it after the fact. Compton's call of that 2014 race. Watson, Paul, Zikas, Rogers and Leak's the top 5 here, folks. We're on lap 56, so final round of pit stop's not too far away.
All right, Craig. Pit window open.
Would have been the crank angle sensor, I believe. I think I heard him saying on Monday or Tuesday. I think Croppo's most iconic moment, I'm going to have to word this one very carefully. If anybody has seen
We should
that
come out into position 16.
let's just say he tries to call them the big guns.
Yes.
And if
The
you know
date,
Crompton
the date
is
you're
holding-
looking for, Saturday, October 7, 2006. All right, the top 10 shooter of that year's 1000.
The big guns are coming out.
The big guns indeed. The big guns indeed.
Brad, ahead is increasing. It's now 1.3 seconds. P11.
Yeah, that's right. It was a crank angle sensor. Oh, Schmitty.
Oh, off he goes. He had it locked up. He pulled it up. He got away with it. It didn't go into the gravel, but still, he had to come to a complete grinding halt in order to get back on the straight and narrow there. There is Craig Bond in 11th now on the comeback trail. Oh, that's got to hurt, Bondy. Come on. You're on a hat-trick now. Don't cock up this run in the pit lane for whatever you do, because it happens in threes, as they say. I want you to have a clean, smooth run through pit lane for the last pit stop of the turn, please. The last pit stop of what's been a very long season. An enormous year on these platforms, and we've enjoyed it immensely. I'm sure you've got some highlights from the 40 weeks of action we've brought you. I think I've been in the commentary box for 39 of those. I missed the first week of turn 2 due to family commitments and other factors, but yeah, it's been an enormous year. I think you'll go back on the calendar, Joe, and when you tally it all up, even though I missed that first week, I've more than well and truly made up for that. I've been here probably more than any other broadcast member throughout the course of 2025. And I said to someone the other day that if someone had told me 5.5 years ago that this is where I'd still be and this would be the steadiest, most consistent, regular gig in my life, 5.5 years later I would have laughed him out of town. But it's the gift that keeps on giving. Yep, is that for incident points or has he been to pit lane? I'm just trying to have a look here. No, he has been to pit lane. He has been to pit lane. He only came in that time through on lap 55 as well, so that will hurt. Last pit stop for Marcus.
We've said it before, and you know, you are the voice of GSRC, right? The front man, and to know you've gone off and you're doing the Pro Series and the supercar stuff and whatnot, you know, whether this has led you to it, you know, we're proud of what you get to do and what you've gone on to do within the sim racing community as a whole within Australia, mate. It's yeah, we've always said to you we're not going to hold you back on that one, except
2 laps of fuel remaining.
Exactly right, and I've often said to people, Mondays and Thursdays I've often loaded for you guys, and then everything else works its way in from there. To the point where I've even had people asking me, you know, oh, what nights are you committed to for next year? Because it's not just the ASRG, there's also our good mate JP from Simshed Broadcasting, JP Sim, who was of course one of our broadcasters back in year 1 as well. He's asking what my availability is for next year with regards to relaunching his platform. So that's exciting because to see further growth
The gap to Brad ahead is increasing. It's now 1.7.
In Australian-based servers, that's a really good sign going into 2026. That was a great move from Marcus Watson on the inside of Matt Schwicke for 5th. Schwicke's still got to stop. Marcus is on the run home. Everybody else has got to stop still. Marcus is in the box seat here. Unless Stephen Bull can pull one out of the proverbial and trump Marcus Watson here. Brooke has still got that black flag showing next to him. Edward Rollo showing a lap down. Bondy's worked his way back to 10th.
We just had a warning for cutting the track.
McKern and Luke Brooker on pit lane for Brooker. That's just that drive-through penalty at this point in time. We're on lap 58, 59 in fact for Stephen Bull. We're inside that final 10 minutes now. So I'm starting
This
to
is the
think
last
that
lap of
those
fuel.
next pit stops coming through. 67, 68 is still looking good, ladies and gentlemen, but it's now actually looking more like 67. It's 8 laps from this time past the line for Stephen Bull, so it's looking more like 67. So 2 laps shy of the mark, and that'll be because they've had to make 2 pit stops, and enough time gets lost in that pit lane transit go. It's a very long pit lane, and that will make all the difference in the world. So we're probably going 67 laps here. Still a very good hit out for these guys. The longest race of the term in the Indian XT cars in terms of time. Oh, hang on, what's going on there, please? Was that Martin Davis?
Leach is pitting from
Yes,
position
it was.
4. We think
He's
he'll
now
come
getting
out
back
just
up to speed,
behind
so
you.
he returns to the race back.
Come into the pits at the end of this lap. Box this lap.
Yeah, it's been lovely this season, and there was a couple of
Fastest lap
full
for
circle moments,
Watson,
right?
1:15.9.
Obviously, if JP launches next year and I get the chance to work for 3 different entities, that's
Look
great.
out for the pit speed limit.
Make it work and not spread myself
Okay,
too
Craig,
thin. I think
we'll
that was
fuel you to the end of the race.
The problem I've got, dropped. Alex Carey's gone to smash one out of the gabber, and it's just clean flushed through in the gap between the wicketkeeper and first slip. He's still alive. Australia are 6 for 352. They lead by 18. And we're in what is the 70th over of Australia's innings. What a day it's been at the Gabba. Still 30 minutes to go there. Stephen Bull onto pit road here. We've got
Box
10 minutes
in,
left
5,
in our race. So our race is going to wrap up around about the same time.
3,
But play
2,
wraps up at the Gabba this evening. A lot to like about that, let me tell you. But yeah, it was a full circle moment a couple of seasons ago because Brenton O'Brien takes great joy in telling me that the first introduction he had to me was Real World. He was following Ethan Grigol's exploits in the XL Nationals at Morgan Park in 2022. So again, the Sim World and the Real World have aligned there. Because Ethan's obviously running in their offerings as well. I'm now commentating. Brenton's now obviously part of the organisational stuff at the ASRG. You've seen me in action.
The car ahead is Lipsky, C licence, and their rating is 1.1.
Well, actually, no. Well, it's not even that anymore. It's not even Carco. It's had a new name change just this week. But for the traditionalists, the locals that still want a route, and that is a wonderful little racetrack as well.
Harris is pitting from position 8. He should come out just in front of you.
Weekend's journey as well, because Ethan Grigol again went all the way over the other side of the country and won the XL Nationals. So 6 for 3, 6-1 Australia. They've put on another 12 in this over so far, and they are going to bat out the day, which is a huge achievement. Guarantees that we get day 3, maybe even day 4 in this test. Very excited about that. Bondi's still sitting out there in position 13 at the moment. He's completed his final stop.
The gap to P1 behind is now 3.7 seconds, 1 lap ahead.
Stop and hold it. Well done. Hey, Marcus Watson, fastest time of the race if you don't mind, on lap 61. On lap 60, he has punched out the fastest number of the night. And he's gone out with a 1 minute 15.654. It's taken us all night to get to the 15s, but we're there. In a big way for Marcus Watson.
Okay, great. The next car is Davis, and their rating is 1.7.
At this point, he does. And Martin Lipsky able to roll back onto pit road as well. Luke Brooker's parked up and done for the night. So that's a late retirement for Luke Brooker. Brett Bradbury, Connor Nixon, the other retirements. We're going to have 16 finishes here, ladies and gentlemen. 75% race distance. Okay. I've just tripped myself up there. 15, 16, 17, 18, 35, 53. Actually, that'll be probably 52, because if we get to 67, the 75% distance marker changes there in all of that. So 67 minus 25% is 51. You've got to get to lap 51 to be classified. So Brooker is still classified, but he's excellent to serve early. So that's usually frowned upon.
The gap to Harris behind is increasing. It's now 4.5 seconds. There's an incident in turn 4. We think it might be Schmitz. Come on, keep digging. P11. Harris behind is pitting. Sector 2 is 0.4 off the pace.
Not the most. sympathy spins for
They're showing the
Schmidt.
slippery
Just saw it there
surface
at the end
flag.
of the replay. Here's Adam Lavis in 8th. Not to be tonight.
You're reeling Davis in. The gap is now 10
Got
seconds.
this championship by the throat now.
There's an incident in turn
He will
7.
be our
Looks like
final
it's
champion crowned
Lipsky.
in term number 4 of 2025. Remember, we're not entirely done, but it is our one-off special event, Australia Open World Nationals, that will follow next Sunday night. As far as our regular offering, our weekly commitments, our primetime entertainment is concerned, our Monday to Friday regular season stuff, this will be the end of the road tonight.
The next car is 1 lap
inside
behind.
the final 5 minutes of play here now. Let's just have a look when he gets back to the line, Joe. I'm very curious here. Here he comes into the main straight. He's just completed lap. Oh, actually. Ooh, jeez. It's only, no, we're not even going to get to 67.
That's the fastest lap of the
3
race.
minutes from
That
home.
lap was at
There he goes across the line now.
1:15.5.
A
Your
minute
times are
15
good in all 3 sectors.
2.5, which is about 15 seconds from time. So we're only going to go to 66. Oh, hang on. Purple box C Bond, thank you very much. 1:15.474. Where'd you pull that from, Bondy?
Whatever you can do, Marcus, I do best.
Oh, jeez. Have a listen to him. 5-second penalty for Martin Lipsky for the unsafe rejoin that tripped up Matt Schmidt there a few moments ago. Have a look at the confidence and the swagger of C Bond just sending a message over the air live to Marcus Watson saying, yeah, that fast club isn't yours yet, mate.
No, I'll let him just chat a few times and
Oh, Leach has just done a 15.81 as well, so the track's coming alive at the best end of the race. So,
Indeed it is.
Yeah. Stay on board here with Marcus.
Indeed, Bondi 1:15.474. That's the benchmark. Let's see if Watson can
The gap
can
to
match
Davis
or better
ahead is now
that.
6.7.
It's a solid number from Bondi.
The
There's
last
no
lap
doubt
was
about
at
that.
1:16.2. Sector
Across
2
the
is
line,
0.3
it's 2
off
to
the
go.
pace.
No,
16.6 that last time through. Yeah. So, let's have a look. He's got 2 laps. He would love to take the fastest lap off Bondi at the end here. Whatever you can do, Marcus, I can do better. What a statement. What a confident young man our mate Craig Bond is. Maybe a little bit cocky, but very confident, yeah. Watson, Bull, Broad, Rogers, Tzidakis and Leach, the top 6 here. Hey, credit to Eduardo Zamora, up 10 spots. I know we haven't focused too much on that. Tyson brought up 12 as well, so they're the big movers of the night, and Broad's done on 7 bloody pit stops. So, I mean, he's had more transit to the pit lane than anybody, and he's put himself in a podium position here, well clear of Paul Rogers. I don't like, Joe, how processional this has become in the sense that we are focused on fastest laps at this point. Everybody's spread out. Well, that's the risky one. A, not on the oval, and B, the second and final portion of the night is thrown before the halfway mark of the race. In the recent weeks, we have had that portion thrown rather late in the piece.
We've just done a 16.7.
We've got Marcus Watson on the last lap. Now he's just past the start-finish line.
Left side, clear left.
In the air. So the clock has just expired. There's your 1 hour 35 marker. And Marcus Watson's on his way home. Alex Carey, with 6 minutes to go of the day's play, has just hit another boundary, and the Aussies extend their lead to 38. 6 for 372. Stephen Bull, he's going to be a worthy champion. There is no doubt about that. What a
Okay, Craig,
magnificent season
you're
from
reeling
him.
10th position. In the gap is
A win at
6.0.
Portland. Again, I wasn't commentating. Notice the common links here. WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca, I wasn't commentating. A win at Long Beach. Actually, I did call that one. And I missed Texas, and so did he. He was 7th last week at Barber. 10th at Gateway, Illinois. 3rd at the Red Bull Ring. 10th at Iowa. but he's done enough to see off the threat of Adam Lavis tonight and get the championship done. Take nothing away from this young man, however, what a way to finish the season. A name to watch if he manages to actually present for a full campaign going forward. Marcus Watson
Sectors 1 and 2 are 0.3
joins an
off the base.
illustrious
Sector
list
3
of
is
GSRC
0.5 off
members
the base.
to claim
Watson
an open
has
wheel
won.
victory at the Brickyard. Job done. Checkered flag flies. 3 laps short of the, I can say it now, we're at the right time, the dinner for 2, which was the target number we set in the first place. If we'd have gone 65 trucker, we would have got there no sweat, but 66 out of 69, not too bad. Stephen Bull, Tyson Broad, Paul Rogers, Alex Tazika, Sky Leach, and Eduardo Zamora, Adam Lavis, Matt Schmidt, Gear, Martin Davis, the top 10. And well done to those guys as they make their way through to see the checkered flag this time by field spread out exponentially in the end there. I mean, a minute and 7 seconds from Marcus Watson back to Martin Davis. Now, Tyson Broad, who is an esteemed member of our broadcast team as well, who kept the seat warm for me a couple of weeks ago. He's already slid into the booth. We'll get to him in just a moment. That's fresh off the podium, of course. 3 different teams on the podium. Marcus Watson, the privateer,
Okay,
the
Craig,
rapid team,
you've got half your fuel left.
The orbit drop there of Tyson Broad. Adam Lavis did finish 8th in the end. It's a disappointing finish from that.
P11.
Unfortunately, it all
Okay,
went
mate, bring it back.
up the proverbial
That's the end of the session.
creek without the paddle for him. Very early in the piece, a couple of spins, a couple of incidents. Just wasn't to be for him. It was always going to be a long shot if Stephen Bull kept his nose clean, and he did, and second is good enough to win the title. Bondi gets, in the end there, an 11th place finish. It would have been 10th had he not probably, well, actually it could have been a lot better, 9th or 8th even, had he not had 3 or 4 slow down, stop and hold penalties given to him throughout the course of the evening. I'm exaggerating the fact it was only 2, but still they're deadly around here. Slowdowns are even being handed out on the cool-down lap, ladies and gentlemen. Greg Heaney was in for 12, Siobhan McKernan, Jonathan Harris, Martin Lipsky, Edward Rollo. The finishers, Luke Brooker will be classified on the 9 laps down in the end there. He did get past 75%. Brett Rubbery retirement, so too Connor Nixon, but the season is done. Tyson Broad, good evening. 7 pit stops, more than anybody else, but it's a strategy that ended up working for you onto the podium. What play?
Yeah, didn't really plan on it being 7 stops. Really have to
It happens like that, doesn't it, mate? I mean, obviously unfortunate that's how it played out, but losing the front wing in the first corner was never a good start. But to recover from that and get yourself back onto the podium, that's a phenomenal effort. I mean, the margin will read 17.49 seconds, but still, solid drive, mate. Really good hustle. Safety cars falling at the right place, but also excellent strategy. Got you back into a podium position.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, just sort of after the first lap, just kind of trying to, okay, just reset, just get to the first safety car. And feeling like that was a disaster. So, yeah, but just
We're going to need rubber
the
first.
first
Take it
15 laps
easy
or so
now.
to the side, and then it was just flying forward from there.
The Brickyard, not a racetrack that we normally associate with running in the wet. How did you find working through those drying conditions,
Watch
mate?
your speed
A
limit in
fair
the
few
pits.
puddles to try and avoid and
Look out
contend
for the
with
pit speed
in
limit.
those-
Box in
that opening half at least.
620 metres.
Yeah, I seem to struggle a bit just catching a puddle at the wrong spot, having half spins throughout the first half of the race, but then from there it was just, yeah,
We expect
work
flight
around
rain
them
soon.
and
Okay, the race is over.
yeah,
Bring it
then
on in.
strategy and that play well. Yeah, ended up on the
Pit
podium.
box in 10.
Indeed. Now,
Box
just
in
whilst everybody's
5,
here, we've got Watto about to
4,
join us as well.
3,
Alongside Paul
2,
Rogers,
1,
Stephen Bull,
1,
and your
right
good
here.
self. Bondi's going to stick around
Box
for a
now.
few minutes as well. When did it become clear to you guys, because we were saying about the halfway mark, this is
Front
not going to go
left,
full race distance, when it
91%,
became
right
clear
front,
that A, it was going to be a splash and dash
left
for that
rear,
final stop, but also
40%,
B,
right rear,
you weren't going to be getting to
48%.
69 laps.
Probably as soon as I realised that there was two safety cars in it, because I knew it was going to be rather tight. and then yeah, the second one just sort of solidified it for me. So yeah, I just sort of knew it wasn't going to go full distance from there.
Indeed. Did that impact you? Well, I guess it probably didn't impact your strategy too much, mate, because it was always clear that after that second safety car, you were never going to make it home on just one stop.
Yeah, no, I tried something a bit different. I tried pitting a little bit earlier and short filling for the penultimate stop, which worked initially until I was on push pass a bit too long and bowled it wide at turn 1. So just got to keep that in the mental note.
Obviously, you were in the commentary box for Texas, mate, and I appreciate you keeping the seat warm. But when you've had the opportunity to go out and steer these things, that was obviously not an ideal moment either, Tice. But how have you enjoyed the challenge of getting your head around these cars, and what do you like about them? What don't you like about them?
This is sort of the first time I really driven them in anger. Yeah, they're an interesting car. I think for the first few laps I was driving it like a supercar, which obviously isn't the meta. And then yeah, from there, once I figured it out, it was punching in good laps, and yeah, then the result fall my way, I guess.
Yeah, it did. Is it a car that you'd like to, if it returns to the platforms of the GSRC next year, mate? Is it a car that you'd like to have a steer of on a more regular basis?
I guess it's just more work dependent. But I would like to see the big IndyCar return in place of this. As soon as it's got the hybrid system coming in, and yeah, just other stuff.
We mentioned GT3 earlier. I mean, obviously the supercar, a lot of exciting times ahead in those two worlds. The announcement today of Toyota GT3 being introduced into the real world. Surely we're not too far away after its introduction into the real world, seeing it in the sim world, given the presence of Toyota in recent times in things like the GR86 Challenge, obviously. But the other point is, obviously, we'll see it in the supercars, on the GSRC platforms, and on iRacing, no doubt, at some point next year as well. So exciting times there for Toyota. From your standpoint, I mean, obviously, open wheelers to one side for a moment. Your regular commitments, what are you most looking forward to about 2026? And more importantly, the time off and the 6-week break between now and when we next turn wheels in anger.
Yeah, I don't know about time off for me, since I'm working a lot of the time. But yeah, it's just sort of one of these things that, you know, you just sort of got to plan ahead and see, you know, what you might want to race, what you definitely don't want to race. And yeah, for myself, I think this year I've sort of dedicated towards the supercar being in the Pro Series and that. But yeah, next year I'll sort of be jumping around a little bit more, trying different things and seeing what I like.
What most excites you about that opportunity to dabble in other cars, to learn new machines, to expand your versatility, mate?
Yeah, definitely exciting. Yeah, sort of for the first time in a long time, I really will be able to have that as an option for me, because previous to that, I was mainly focused on GT3s and all sorts. So wouldn't mind getting to know the hypercar a bit more. But yeah, mainly just looking forward to just not worrying about sim racing for a little bit.
The other point we should make here as well is, I mean, obviously your mate Connor Nixon didn't have a dream run tonight either, retired pretty early in the piece. But overall, the season that was for Orbit Drop Bear, the highlight being obviously two GT3 championships for Harry Lillis earlier in the year. I know how elated he and Sammy Blacklock were with their win in the Pro Series finale on the mountain as well. There were real tears from Harry. It meant a lot to him. But as far as the team's concerned, mate, what have been the takeaways from this season, and what are you guys most looking forward to about the preparation for next year, and how you're going to attack not just what we do, but also the ASRG, also, of course, officials and majors and other things?
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. There seems to be some changes coming, so maybe keep an eye out for those.
maybe they might come to fruition, maybe not. We'll have to wait and see on those. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see what next year looks like for the team. But yeah, mainly for some of the guys, it'll be focused on Ivra for the time being, and getting a decent set for when that comes back. I think in late January.
Yes, and we're back mid to late January as well, and looking forward to it immensely. Great effort tonight, mate. I mean, a bit hard to really talk too much about the positional battles in amongst all of that because it was a very processional ending to the race. But Indianapolis, whether it's the road course or the oval, it's always a nice place to finish an open wheel season, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I would have liked to have seen the oval in these cars tonight. And I felt as though maybe the race format was a little bit too long and led to that processional finish. So, yeah, maybe just some notes to take for next time.
Well, on that subject, what are your what's on your wish list? What's on your hit list? What would you like to see from our standpoint on the schedule next season, and anything that you wouldn't like to see? And that can be cars or circuits.
Geez. I'm not quite 100% sure on that one. Definitely, as I said before, the big Indy cars to return. I think everyone likes driving those, and they're probably one of the best cars in iRacing at the minute. But yeah, I'm not too sure on what cars I don't want to see. If there's something I don't like to race, I usually just don't race it anyway. But yeah, as for tracks, don't really know. It was just sort of, wait and see. I think consideration should be taken into what tracks suit what cards. So yeah, then therefore we can have some really good racing.
Indeed, we can. Anything else to add from you, mate? I mean, as we say, not too much to dissect there with regards to battles and the like towards the end of that race. So this is going to be a quicker post-race show than usual, I feel. But anything else to add from you? Any thank yous you want to pass on now that the season is done? And any final thoughts?
Just thanks to the GSRC for putting all the races on this year, and also the commentators. I know yourself, you take a lot of time off, other things to cover for some of us, and then also just race control, and then my team, All But Drop Bear, for all support over the years, and our sponsors in Revolution Race Gear and iLiveries.
And thank you for deputising a couple of times this season too, mate.
Absolutely. Yes, it's been greatly appreciated. Maybe we'll have to get you back in for a bit more play-by-play next term.
Yeah, maybe. I think I'm better suited not as a lead at the moment. So,
well, you're more than welcome to come in and be my co. You can be the Neil Crompton to my Lee Diffie, if you know what I mean. That combination from about 20 years ago.
I'm glad you didn't pick his Neil Crompton to the Scapey.
Yeah, no, we won't be doing that. Now, it's Tice, you mentioned work, mate, but what does the sim racing schedule look like for the next 6 weeks? Do you get any tools downtime away from the sim, or do you still intend on being in there on a regular basis to keep yourself match fit?
I've got Pell this weekend at Fuji, and then I've got work shift in between that and the final round of the V8 Pro Series. So yeah, and then that will pretty much wrap up the year. And then as for what happens after that, I don't know at the minute.
Copy that. All right. We'll let you go, mate. Well done. Great to have you in here post-race in a driver capacity rather than commentary capacity. More of that, please. But you're always welcome in here anytime in a play-by-play or in a co-commentator role. But it's always good to see you out there on the track as well, because that is your natural habitat. Great work this season. Been great to watch you in action. We look forward to seeing you in 2026, mate. All the best for the off-season, Christmas and the New Year.
Thank you.
Speaking of well wishes, I do believe many happy returns to one G Heaney for earlier in the week, and apologies for missing that. That's an oversight on my part, which I apologise for, but we'll get to you in a moment. Marcus Watson's in the house as the race winner. Bondi's got to go because he's got an early start in the morning, so I'll quickly just jump in here and say thanks for jumping in and being good with your time throughout the course of the night, Bondi, and having a chat with us there during the race. We may have distracted you a little bit, but at the end of the day, we're not responsible for how you steer the motor car. So those two slow down, stop and hold penalties you got are on your own accord, not ours. But mates, well done this season. What have you been your takeaways? What have been your highlights? And what does the next 6 weeks look like? I know you've been trying to get rid of the sim rig for a while, et cetera, but what do the next 6 weeks look like in your world before we might see you back here turning wheels again in anger again in 2026?
No, thank you for letting me join in the booth during the races for the last couple weeks. But yeah, can't wait for Adelaide and the new P Cup. I'm gonna spend every second not at work doing that, so that'll be exciting.
Yep.
Watching the Ashes. Hopefully over 6 weeks I can get rid of the sim and get a new one for a fresh start next year. But yeah, just I've got to try and organise if we're doing 24 hours of Spa tomorrow or not, which would be helpful to know now instead of when I get home. But yeah, pretty good year. Started off rough, had a few suspensions, which never was great, but came out great in the last term, but couldn't commit to a full season with work and stuff. So it's great that I showed pace when I was actually racing and stuff. But yeah, at least we can take some stuff away, work on pit entrances, pit stops, wet weather over the break as well. Hopefully we can master that so we don't have as many mistakes as we did this year with those, and then I should be a real contender, I hope, moving forward.
And by the way, just before we do let you go, now that he's here in the booth with us, do you want to repeat what you said to Marcus Watson when you stole the fastest lap off him, please?
I've already sent it to him too.
Oh, good, excellent.
So,
yeah,
yeah,
good one.
Already
I love it. Well done, Bondi. Enjoy the summer, mate. I'm sure I'll be talking to you at some point throughout. If I get a chance, I'll get down to Gundagai. We'll go and have a game of golf. Go well.
Yeah, thank you. Have a good break.
I will. I'm looking forward to it like you wouldn't
Thanks,
believe.
Bondi.
Good on you, Bondi. Thank you, mate. One of the young members of the club, as we say, we have such a broad